is Henry the Computer Guy, and you are most welcome to our seventh video about databases. Actually, in this video, we are going to be working with reports in Microsoft Access. And if at all you missed my previous videos, I would advise you to please visit my channel, check under my playlist, and look for a folder called Working with Databases, such that you can be able to follow along with me. And remember, in the previous videos, we created our database, which was called the school database, and it is the one that we are going to be continuing with. So without wasting any time, let's open it right away. And having opened our database, this is the information we previously had. For example, we had one table, which was called the students table. We had several queries, the way you're looking at them, and we also had one form, which was called the students form. And this is the information we are actually going to be continuing with. For example, to create our reports. So we can always create a report based on a table or based on any query that you feel you want. So let us begin by understanding what reports are. And if I'm to answer this, reports are formatted summaries of data suitable for printing. That means that whenever you have any information you want to print out of your database, the right way to do that is to create a report for that information. Then you can always be able to print it. So if forms are for input, then that means that our reports are always for output. Therefore, anything that you plan to print deserves a report, whether it is a list of the names, addresses, or more. So that means that reports are used in a database to present information in a neat and organized format that is ready and suitable for printing. So without wasting any time, let's see how we can create our reports. So we have the first question, and it is telling us that we are going to be creating a report and save it as a student's report. So the first report we are going to be creating is going to be based on the students table. So we can also create a report based on the queries, but the first one we are going to begin with is a report based on a table. So how are we going to do this? We are going to come to our option that says create and look for the section that says reports. And when you look under this section, we have, first of all, we have the report. We have the report design. We have a blank report. We have the report wizard, and it is the one that we are going to be using. Remember, previously I told you that we are using a wizard because it is a step by step. It guides us through as we are creating either our forms, our queries, or our reports. So even in our reports, we are going to be using our report wizard. But as you look at this first option, it is the report and it is inactive. Why is it inactive? So for you to use this option, you first always have to select any table or query that you want to create a report for. For example, if we are to use the students table, you'd have to click on it, and after clicking on it, you'd come to the option that says report. But when you use that option, it will take everything that is under that table or anything that is contained in that query without you selecting any of the fields that are there to choose from. So whenever you're going to use this option, that means that it will take everything that is either in the table or in the query without you selecting any. That's why I've said that we are going to be using the report wizard, because it will guide us as we are creating our report. So let's click onto this option and see what they are telling us. Having clicked on our report wizard, they are giving us another option which says that which field would you want to appear on your report. That means that you're going to be choosing the fields you want to appear onto your report. And down here, they are telling us that you can either choose from a table or a query. So you always come to this option and choose exactly where you want to create your report from. Either it can be a query or it can be a table. So for our case, we are going to be using the table first of all. And I'm going to come and select our students table. And having selected it, they are telling us that we have the available fields down here. And remember, I told you that whenever you want to select from these fields that are available one by one, you have to use one arrow. And whenever you want to take them all, you have to use the double arrows. So they will be taken to this side. And whenever you want to take back one by one, you have to use one arrow. And whenever you want to take them back all, you have to use the double arrow. So for our case, we are going to be using the single arrow, and we select some of the fields to work with onto our report. So I'm going to be selecting, let's say, first of all, I'm going to be selecting the arrival number. I will select the student's ID. I will select the student's name. I will select the DOB or the date of birth. I will select the position. I will select the, let's say, the gender. I will select my fees. I will select the amount paid. I will select either the boarding section. I will select the balance. Let me select the balance. Let me just skip these ones and select the balance. I don't want many of them. I'll select the balance. Then I can select the telephone number, then the date of entry. And after selecting our fields we want to appear on our report, we're going to come to the option that says next. And when we come here, they are telling us that we have a report wizard, and they're telling us that whether we want to add some groupings. So you can always add groupings onto your report if at all you want to do so. For example, selecting the groups that you feel you want to make. For example, I can say arrival number. I can put, let's say, the student's name. And you're seeing that our groups are being made onto our report. But for my case, I don't want to make this grouping, so I'll just take them back, then I'll continue. And having continued, they are also telling us that what sort of order do you want for your records. You can as well sort your records, but it provides you with an option of only 4 fields you can sort. For example, I can come here and let's say choose the arrival number, and that one is going to be in ascending order. Let me say I'm going to choose the student's ID, that one, let's say, to be in descending order. I'm going to be choosing any other option. I can choose any, but up to a maximum of only 4 of them. So for my case, I don't want to be sorting this data, so I'm going to take it back to none. I'm going to be taking it back to none. If at all you wanted it to be a descending, you just come and select it here. For example, arrival number. You come and either change to ascending or descending. It depends on anything that you feel you want to do on your report. So I'm going to select none because I don't want to make any sorting there. Then after that, let me make one sorting. For example, arrival number, and it's going to be ascending. So you'll come and click on the option that says next. And having clicked on next, you can as well come to this option, and they're telling us that how would you like the layout to be for your report. And for my case, I'm going to be choosing the layout that says, let's say, tabular. Let me leave it to tabular, but you can as well be able to select the columnar or the justified. Let me leave it on the tabular. And aside here, you can also choose the orientation, either being portrait or landscape. And whenever you have too many fields, it is always a better way to choose the landscape because it provides you with a wider area where your fields are going to be put. So I'm going to be choosing the landscape. And having chosen the landscape, I can come down and click onto the option that says next. And having finished that, I'm going to be giving it a title. For example, they told us to save it as the student's report. Let me just add a report. So we are going to be calling it student's report. And having finished that, they are telling us down here that we can review the report or we can modify the report. Whenever you want to add more items to your report, you can always be able to modify. Let me first preview it and see how it is going to appear. So I'm going to come to the option that says finish. So having clicked finish, you give it some time as it is loading, and finally our information has been given to us. But as you're looking at this report, Some information is not all that visible. That means that we have to make it visible. So let me first of all scroll this aside such that we get a wider space to view our information. So we have the information here, but you're looking at this information represented with a hash, and here hash. That means that the information is too much for it to be displayed in those columns. So how are we going to do that? We have to adjust our report by coming to the option that says view. And when you come to the option that says view, here they have added us another option. For example, the print preview. So we have the report view, then we have the print preview, and they are giving us the print preview because they know that we are going to be printing this information as a report. So they have added us another option. So we have the layout view and we also have the design view. Let me first of all click on the layout view and make some modifications to our columns. And having clicked them, I'm going to be adjusting this information. Let me first of all click this to be seeing my information, the whole of it. So I'll come to this option, I'll enlarge it a little bit. And now you're seeing that, let me see, I'm going to be pushing it this side, then I push this side. That is the arrival number, and I think it is now visible. So we can as well adjust this to this side by pushing it or reducing it to this side. So let's come back to another one. This is the student's ID. Let me make it smaller because it is all that big. And when you come here, you also reduce the size such that you get some information to be also visible. So I'm going to push this one closer to the student's ID, and this is the student's name. I'll come down here also. I'll come down here also. I push it closer to the student's ID. I want to be seeing the whole of our information onto this report. So this is the DOB. I'm going to push it closer to the student's name. Then I'll come and select this information. I also enlarge it such that it can be visible. So I can push this close again, just like that. I'll come and push this one closer. I'll push this closer. So that is it. I think it is now visible. So we come to the position. We also enlarge it a little. We bring this one closer, just like that. Then the gender is visible, the face is visible. This is it. This is let's make this one a little bit smaller. Let me enlarge this also. By coming to the gender, I make it a little bit smaller. Let me select it. I will also make it smaller. Then I make my face closer, come closer to the gender. This is how we're going to do it, like this. I'm going to push it close again. Then I will come and push it just like that. This is the amount paid. This is the amount paid. I'm going to make it a little just like that. It is also now visible. Then our boarding section is also there, just like that. As we scroll through, then the telephone number is visible. This is our balance. Let me make it a little bit smaller, just like that. So I'll come to the telephone. It is a little bit bigger. I'll make it smaller for the other last fields to be visible also. I'll come and reduce this one a little bit, just like that. So I'm going to come and push this one closer to the telephone number, just like that. Then I enlarge this one for it to be visible. So this is now our report that we are having. And this is the information that we can as well be able to print. So what if they added us some other information? For example, they wanted us to put a logo for the school. I would come back to your view, come back to the option that says design view. And having come to the design view, we want to add our logo here. So how are we going to do this? We can as well edit this information by coming to the report design. Having come to the report design, we can look for our logo. So you can as well be able to add the page numbers, the title, the date stroke time, and all of them. But for our case, the question is requiring us to put the logo. So we are going to be putting our badge. So I'll come and click on logo. And having clicked on logo, I'm going to come to my desktop. I look for my folder. Then I'll be selecting my logo just like that. So my logo is here. So let me push this, move this student's report name in the middle such that we can have it there. Then our logo is just here. We can as well enlarge it a little bit. And having put our logo, they are also telling us that we can also change the background color. For example, let me modify this or enlarge this a little bit. Uh, just come and right click in any free space. Then come to the option that says fill or back color. Then be able to choose any color of your choice. That is the color that we are having. So let's go back to our report view and we see the changes that we have made. Having gone there, the color has been changed and our logo is here. The name has been put into the middle. So let's go back and also change another color. Come back to the design view. Come to where you have your data down here. Also, you're going to be right clicking. Come to the option that says fill color. Then you can put another color. Let me say I want to put this color. Then I can come and say view, then report view. So this is the information that we are actually having as our report. So we can as well be able to print this report at any time we feel we want. So let's also add the header and footer. Another question requires us to add the header and the footer. And having come back here, we want to put our header here. So I will come to the option that says label. For example, I want to put it here. So I will put my index number, for example, 002. Then we can as well come down here and put our report footer by enlarging this one a little bit and coming to the label, then we drew it. So I'm going to be putting my name as the footer. Let's say Henry the computer, Henry the computer guy. Then I can also put my number 0701 70. So I can make this as my footer, just like that. So having done that, we can come back to view, then we come to the report view. Then we look at our information. So we have our header up here, then we have our footer down here. So let's also try to make a simple calculation here. Assuming that they wanted us to calculate the balance, if we didn't have this balance and they wanted us to calculate the balance, which is the difference between the fees and the amount paid, we can as well have it aside here. So let's go back to our design view. Having gone to the design view, we are going to come back to the last section here. Then we enlarge this a little bit. So let me copy these fields that we are having here, and having copied them, we are going to be putting them aside here so we can be able to make a calculation that we want. So I'm going to right click on it. I'll say copy, then I'll click in any free space, then I say Control V for pasting. And having pasted it here, so I will come and drag it to where I want it to be. So I'm going to be putting it here, and I'm going to be calling it or changing the name that it is actually having. Let me call it, let's say, trial balance. Trial balance. Trial balance. Because we already have the balance, we want to prove whether this amount of money is going to be similar to this one. Then I'll come back to this one again. I'll right click on it and copy. Then I will click aside and paste it by pressing Ctrl V onto my keyboard. It is also brought here. I'll put it where I want it to be, and this is where I want it to be. So having put this, I'm going to be putting my formula I want to work with. So the formula, remember they have told us it is going to be the difference of the fees and the amount paid. So I'll come and put my equal sign. Then I'll open my square bracket. I'll put in my fees. So it was fees. Then you close the bracket minus, uh, open the square bracket, which is the amount paid. After you close with a square bracket. So we want to run this and see whether the amount of money we have here is going to be similar to the balance that we had calculated earlier. But remember, this was the field that we copied was for date of entry. Remember, the information for date was there. So we have to first of all change the information and put that one for the money. So I'm going to come and click on it. I'm going to come and click on it, then come to the property sheet. And having come to the property sheet, we are going to come to the format. Remember, it was showing the date and it was medium date. So we want to change this one to uh, the currency, which was the standard. Then after that, we can also remove the decimal places by doing this. Then having finished that, we close this. Then we come to our view, then click on the option that says report view. So finally, our information is having the same money as this. So we're having 400,000. For example, if you get 500 minus 100, you get 400. If you get 300 minus 100, you get 200. So let's also remove this UGX. We shall just come back to our option that says view, come back to the design view. Then come back to the option where we have the balance, and having clicked there, come to the property sheet. When you come to the property sheet, you're going to come to the format. And having come to the format, you're going to be choosing the standard. And down here, we don't need the decimal places. So I'll come and put them to 0. So I'll come back to view, then select the report view. So when we come back here, it is also having the same money as this. So that is how you can also make a calculation in your report. So let's do one more report that is going to be based on a query. So by doing the same procedure, by coming to the option that says create, then having clicked on create, we come to the option that says report wizard. Having done that, we are going to be selecting the query now instead of a table. Let me select that one of age. Having selected that, we are going to be selecting the fields we want to appear on our report. By clicking, for example, the arrival number, the student's ID, the student's name. We pick the DOB. We can also pick the position, the gender. We can pick the fees. We can also be able to choose the amount paid. We can also be able to choose any other information that you feel you want. Let me say I want the age to be there, the telephone. Let me say put the balance. I want the telephone to be there. I want the date of entry. I also want the age because they have told us they want it to be the age. So I'll also include the age. Then I'll come and say next. Having said next, remember I told you if you wanted to make some groupings, you can always make the groupings from here. We come and click on next. If you wanted to make any sortings, you'd do them from here. Let's say next, then you pick the arrangement that you want to use. For example, I can use this one as the justified and use, let's say, the orientation as landscape. Having finished that, I'll come and click next. Then we give it a name. For example, age report, just like that. Then I will click on the option that says preview because I don't want to put any other information. So I'll come and click on the option that says finish. And having clicked on finish, this is the information they have provided with us. You're looking at this report. We have the arrival number, we have the student's ID, the name, the position, the DOB. This is the information that we are actually having. And if at all you wanted to view it for all the learners, you can as well be able to scroll through because we had 10 or 11 records, so you can as well be able to scroll through these records. So that is exactly how you can create your report in your database. So thank you for being such a good audience. I think in the next video, you're going to be learning how we can work with a relationship. So all along, we've been using one table. We're going to be seeing how we can work with more than one table and create a relationship. Bye-bye. I sign out.